All right, so anytime you hear that means Tanya is in the studio. Because that's the kind of music that just don't work with two brothers. When me and the diva just in here, we just ain't playing dance for me. It's just not happening. All right, that's from my main man Mark Williams, out of New Orleans or Florida. I think he's out of Florida by way of New Orleans. And that's my man Mark Williams. Hello, how are you? This family? You know these folks? Oh, I know these folks. Dude! Hold on, y'all. I'm having a moment. You know what I love about you? Is that the show was next week with you on it, but now it's this week. All right, so pull up this chair right here. Hi, darling, how are you? Don't you just love him? I just love him.
Don't feel bad. Because I almost didn't make it. I said, no, it's today.
So you all, y'all don't pay attention to me for a minute. We're gonna reset the cameras because I just have another special guest came in the environment, and this is gonna be that much more fun. Hey, cuz. Now I gotta mic you up.
And your taste in clothes. But you know what makes me happy, baby? Do you know what really makes me happy?
You know what,
I love it when you dance.
Okay.
When you dance. For me.
That music upstairs in the studio right now.
Your poetry in motion.
Just hold it.
A treat for all eyes to see. Your movements
Don't make that kind of noise, man. Hey, Chris. Don't make that kind of noise when I'm making it.
That's the beat.
I don't want Mr. Coach calling me something. What's that noise? Oh, in case y'all haven't heard. I don't like none of y'all.
He loves y'all.
That's right. I don't like y'all. I love you. Got my body with me. What up, boy?
I love when you dance.
I love my video with everything in
You got a little something going on.
Oh, man. I hope the next show don't show up so we can keep going. I was joking, in case you heard me. I was joking. All right, folks. As I mentioned to you earlier, that must be Coach Tanya must be in the house, because I wouldn't be playing that. And now we got a full house, and Roland Bubba Grimes here, Roland Grimes Show live, Beauty and the Beast version. I'm going to unmic or unmute all the mics, brother. Turn that one on, and give me a quick sound check. Say, hey y'all.
Hey y'all.
There it is. Adib, talk to me.
Oh, man, I'm talking to you.
Coach Tanya.
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm talking about. Everybody give each other a hand, because we made it.
That's a blessing.
So look, my mama's going to kill me because you on air and I didn't tell her. She's going to break my neck. Oh, I'm so scared.
You better call her up now.
Oh, I know. I'm going to do it as soon as I turn this over to Tanya for a minute.
Okay,
and
first you got to back up since I ain't been here in a minute.
Oh, man.
You got to do the intro. I got to introduce you.
Oh, man.
You forgot? I ain't been here in a minute.
You know what? I mean, you can tell I'm slipping, right? All right, so let me rewind. Right? Okay, here we go. Welcome, folks. I'm Roland Bubba Grimes, the Roland Grimes Show live, Beauty and the Beast version. Here with my delectable co-host, Coach Tanya. Coach Tanya, how are you?
I'm good.
We haven't seen you in a minute.
No.
All right, so now you're here for an hour. So let's make this happen.
And I'm here with Roland Bubba Grimes, the chocolate troglodyte on a Monday night.
Ooh.
What was that name?
So nice, say it twice.
Chocolate troglodyte.
Oh my goodness.
Hold on, say it again so he can take it with him.
Roland Bubba Grimes, the chocolate troglodyte on a Monday night.
Okay. Right. Yeah. That's his Parliament Funkadelic.
Yeah, that's the Parliament Funkadelic coming out.
That's what he was called. He was on that stage. Right?
Yeah.
And you can't have it. Your chocolate troglodyte on a Monday night. Glad to be here. Coach Tanya,
Yes,
fill me in. Fill us in.
Wow. When the last time I've been here?
Okay, let's not talk about that because I'm starting to get a complex.
I've been to Florida, and then I've gone to Ohio. I just got back from Ohio from a convention. I was in Florida for AAU basketball. So now I'm back. I'm not going out of town anymore. I don't think.
Yeah.
Not until after my event, so I'm back.
So let's talk quickly about your event. Tell us what's going on.
It's called the Ultimate Man Series, Transforming the Man, Mind, Body, Soul, and Spirit, and Finances.
Okay, let me turn your mic up a little bit and have you say that again one more time.
The Ultimate Man Series, Transforming the Man from the Inside Out, Mind, Body, Soul, and Finances. It's going to be September 30th and October 1st from 10 to 4 at the Holiday Inn in Largo. And we will be discussing grooming, health and fitness, nutrition, mentoring, fatherhood, legacy building, and wealth building. Right. So it's open to men ages 18 to a gazillion, and tickets are $50 for both days.
If that gazillion-year-old dude show up, you don't have to sell no
he gonna give some wisdom.
Wisdom, you can sell him. You can sell him. You ain't got to sell no tickets.
His blood.
And the first 12 people to purchase tickets will get a gift certificate worth $200.
Oh, 50 for 200. That's
Hey.
That's a good investment.
That's a good deal.
Yes.
All right, so you first 12 people, y'all better get moving.
Yeah.
Hit me up on Facebook, or you can go to Eventbrite and look up the Ultimate Man Series, or you can go to my website, DKD and Associates Event Planning and Associates.com.
And if you didn't catch all that, you also can look her up with me. Just Google Roland Grimes and see what comes up, and then I'll connect you with Coach Tanya in the Ultimate Man Series. Gentlemen, you know she named that series after me. But I got a quick question for you mugs. Like, have any of you ever been to a conference that was based on the development of the man inside and out? If you have, tell me about it. If not, just let me know so that I can put it out there that way. Because I've never been to one.
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
I'm gonna have you pull the mic up. I'm gonna have you pull the mic up closer to your chin.
Quite frankly, no. Not just specifically about men. I mean, I've been to a lot of conferences in which they taught or spoke about and raised the awareness to fitness, nutrition, all the things that you mentioned, particularly wealth. I'm on that wealth building thing, you know what I mean? But specifically for men, nah. So that's a great thing.
Talk to me.
When I was going to a church called New Beginning Way Across, I'm still a member there. I don't attend it as regularly as I should, but I started a program called Boys to Men, and it was specifically guided to give the guys kind of steps to becoming a young man, to becoming a man. Okay. And we developed a program where we taught them about their hygiene. Mm-hmm. We taught them how to,
Well, I'm going to need you on September 30th and October 1st.
Okay, I'm always down for that.
Yes.
But it really helped the young men out because, at that time, young men now don't like to wear suits and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So we taught them how to tie bow ties, Windsor knots, and all that type of stuff to get really ready for the real world. Mm-hmm. So that's a very important program you have going on. I'd be more than happy to participate.
And that's kind of what I wanted to do. It was to, because you always have seminars and different things for women. I did an event for women called the Divas Day of Beauty. And I had different vendors come out that were geared towards women. And I wanted to do something for the men. Like you say, teaching boys how to wear a suit, what are the 5 suits they should have in their closet, the 5 different colors, about getting manicures and pedicures.
Boy, you gotta teach me
you
that
gotta
stuff.
teach men too, yes. But about getting manicures and pedicures is not just for women. A lot of women don't want you touching them with your feet if they kind of crusty and gonna hurt them. So teaching them about that.
Yeah, the pedicures are important.
Yes, and also with the nutrition, because there's a lot of African American men that are dying because they don't go to the doctor. Mm-hmm. And a lot of things can be avoided by just knowing when you should go to the doctor, what you should be looking for, and not being afraid of going. So that's kind of where it kind of
brothers
started.
will put it off. I'm 62, and I know a lot of my friends, they be like, man, I'm going to go. I be like, man, you better go get there.
I just had a skid with blood pressure last week, so I woke up one morning and my blood pressure was 198 over 101, and I've been on medication for a while, but I used to be a little heavier and I lost a lot of weight, and so I've been able to.
It's funny when you go down, your blood pressure will actually go up sometimes
because it's used to working harder.
Yeah, and the thing was, the medicine I was taking was running. The effectiveness of it was running out. So, you had to make modifications to your diet, even if you feel like you're in shape. But I felt myself feeling bad, and I didn't hesitate to go to the doctor. So
That's good.
Yeah, well, I hesitate to go to the doctor because, like, usually when I go to doctors, like, okay, dude, they don't want to touch me. They don't want to check my pressure. They just want to get in, give me a pill, and get out. What's up with that?
we know the game on that one.
Yeah.
Oh, we know the game.
Yeah.
Wait till they learn how to make cancer so you don't die, and they can keep you alive forever.
And then keep making money off it.
Yeah.
All right, folks, for those of you just tuning in, I want to introduce to some and present to others my esteemed guests for the night. I have Brother Adib Muhammad, a world-renowned actor and scholar in his own right. Adib, welcome.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
And he's also co-author of Masters of Success, and I will take me and my girl off of the screen so you can see the cover of the book. Actually,
you
we're
want
gonna
me
do
to-
that. Nope, you're good. We're gonna do it the
No,
other
he
way.
wants to do it that way first.
So, actually, you can put it right in front of She Richie's candle. She Richie, we're gonna show you a candle in a minute. She Richie makes these wonderful candles. Make it any way you want. Look like anybody you want. But that's Masters of Success, written by Adib Muhammad and Mr. Brian Tracy. We're gonna find out a little bit in a minute how he put that project together. In addition, I have man we affectionately call Geronimo nowadays. We still using that? We still using that moniker?
Yeah, man.
All right.
That's a part of me.
Awesome. So I know him as Chris Allen, and of course, for those who don't know, he wears multiple hats, but one of the most renowned hats he wears is he is one of the primary percussionists for a band called Trouble Funk.
Yes.
I know him, he don't know me, but it's
Chris, man, I know you did some work with some other bands. Update us on what's going on with you, man.
Oh, we got a lot going on.
I heard.
Trouble Funk wise, anyway. We just finished a show down in Richmond with Tony Terry and Sugar Bear. It was nice, man. Tony Terry's remarkable, man.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. Somebody in this room really likes him.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna say who it is.
Well,
we interviewed him here a couple months ago.
yeah, well, he's smooth like that.
Yes.
Awesome voice.
He's got some nice stuff coming up, and a surprise for you. I won't tell you what, but
Of course not.
Some stuff coming. We are also traveling in October to L.A. to perform with the Foo Fighters. We have a 2-day gig out there with the Foo Fighters, and it's fun to have somebody like Dave Grohl just call you up and invite you out for a concert like that in LA, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be pretty interesting. And then we're also working on EP and an LP.
Yes.
Okay.
Now did you guys just release something recently?
Just a
Oh, I
mix
just heard
tape.
it play. Okay.
Just a mixtape, a live CD. And also, let me plug my son. My son's a rapper. His name is Chris Allen, Young OG, and he's on what's that, SoundCloud. You go to SoundCloud and put in Chris Allen, Young OG. You can see his stuff. And working with him, going to get his package together. And we're going to get him with somebody that's going to take care of his career, get him out there, make him big.
And speaking of taking care of career, one of the things that both of these guys do, and I'm sorry, Tanya, jump in anytime you want. One of the things that both of these guys do that really makes it very, very exciting for me to have them on is one, they're very socially conscious, and number two, they also respect and work within the industry as much as they do being artists. They're also behind the scenes handling the business side. So, Deep, I'm going to toss this one to you first, man. Tell us on the business side of things, what kinds of projects, moves, maneuvers are you making right now on the business side? And help us to what's happening.
Well, on the business side, I'm the CEO of Black Carpet Productions. And Black Carpet Productions was originally started as a means by which to showcase the talents of up-and-coming playwrights. And as of 2016, we started not only showcasing playwrights, meaning that we help them get their productions to the stage, is we also have now gotten into movies. In fact, just recently, Black Carpet Production just completed their first film. It's a short called A Moment in Space, which was a short film that highlighted the experience of date rape, domestic violence.
Wow.
And what we did in Houston, they have what they call the NASA Film Festival. And a part of the criteria of the NASA Film Festival is that you have to have, as a part of your film project, aspects of space, black holes, stars, the galaxy, etc.
Quartz, gluons, red child.
So we took that to a whole different place in terms of the experience of a young lady who met a man who she thought was the light of her life. And when he and her father happened to be an astronaut, and she happened to be born on the day that Halley Comet went by. So we wrapped the story around that so that we fit within the criteria of the film festival, but we told an impactful story.
Wow.
One of the other things I do as a producer, Black Carpet Productions not only deals with stage production, film production, but we also cast for several other up-and-coming independent filmmakers here in the DMV, like Randall Lawrence and Gil Nelson, who just had an amazing play over at the art called Decades. Randall Lawrence is in the midst of shooting his film Water with a Slice of Lemon, which we casted. We casted several of his projects. In addition to their some amazing things about to happen that I'm not going to get into yet, but I will soon. I just recently graduated from the Hollywood Film Institute.
All right.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Which is where Quentin Tarantino launched his career. Spike Lee went there, Will Smith, Queen Latifah, Christopher Nolan, and Kevin Smith, which are some high-powered people that I'm sure you heard their names before.
Yes, indeed.
So, there's just some amazing things happening because as a actor, I'm involved with several other major projects. Like I'm in 2 Amazon series that'll be dropping, one in October and one later the spring of next year. Loyal and Trust by Gil and Pam Nelson, and His Fire, My Face, which we'll be having the screening of the first episode at the Bowie Performing Arts Center, September the 17th.
And I do stand in very well. I can walk through scenes.
Man, hey, look,
Right.
I already got some stuff for you, man, because, movies also need soundtracks, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay,
So,
there you go.
How do you, what advice would you give someone that's looking to get into acting? As far as and getting into casting and different things of that nature.
Okay. I'm going to answer your question this way.
Yes.
Since I am also an acting coach and teacher,
Okay.
and I've been doing that for 2 years now, the first thing begins with you having a passion for even the pursuit of acting. Even if it's something that you want to find out about, be passionate about and be committed to going all the way in your evaluation and then find out if it's for you.
Okay.
Also know that if you're going to do anything, whether it's acting, music, producing, whatever you do behind the scenes, what we call below the line activity like electric grips and all that, make sure that you get the absolute best information that you can and try to be the absolute best at it and then go from there.
Now, in this area, where or what acting schools or places can someone go for that
The first place I
really
would tell-
deals with acting versus
The Actor Center.
yeah.
DC has an organization called the Actor Center, which is located on 16th Street Northwest. I don't remember the exact address, but I've been a member of the Actor Center for over 5-6 years. The Actor Centers provides, in some instances, if not free classes in any area of acting, but at an exceptionally reduced rate. Because, see, the Actor Center, as a member, you pay like $68 a year.
Okay.
And people come in from all over. Because, see, DC, a lot of what people don't know about acting here, DC is really a theater town.
Yes, it is.
That's why you got studio theater, you see the arena, you see all that. It's a theater town.
Okay.
And it has a lot of opportunity for any actor. And I say that, first of all, because in order for you to become the best actor you can become, from my research, and see, I didn't start acting until I was 50, and I'm 62 now, and doing quite well, right? Wow. It's because I did my initial research, and what I found consistently among the actors that I most respected, like Pacino and De Niro and Denzel and Samuel Jackson and all these people, your best actors have a lot of theater experience. Because in theater, there's much more of a commitment to developing a character and doing what we call script analysis, which gives you the ability to really understand a character within the relationship or the relationship or the story that the screenwriter or the playwright intended.
Okay. Well, yeah, we're going to talk.
Yeah, we're going to talk.
So I can drop my treatment on them next week for
my
play that I wrote called
you know what?
Goology.
It's crazy, but that's a real thing.
Did.
That's a real thing. Cause,
I've been trying to figure out how to. I wrote a play called Goology like in 1991. Well, I started in 91 when I started writing a tribute to Chuck Brown. And I mean, I have the whole script in here. I lost the book I had in a fire 2 years ago.
Well, we're going to need that whole script.
Well, you need to write it down.
Oh, I've started already.
Okay.
Well, I know you got to put the pen to paper, so I've already started putting the pen to paper. But you mentioned theater, and I did street theater for 3.5 years at Duke Ellington, and it's very important. When we came out of those programs, we were ready to perform.
I know.
Professionally. They groomed us to come out that way, and even though I didn't attend a high school, I got all the curriculum. A lot of the people did that went to the school because I took time after my school to go there and also in the summertime to participate. And it's very important if you want to be an artist, I think.
Yeah, and then
you're absolutely right. A foundation of arts and entertainment and all facets of it, because we weren't just on the stage. I was a gripper for 1.5 years. I'm running around with mics and
my very first film years ago. And the crazy part is, the very first film that I was associated with was Ananda Lewis's first film.
Wow!
You remember Ananda Lewis?
Yeah.
And the name of the film was Citizen Kane, not like Orson Welles, but Citizen is a type of parrot. The story was based on Toni Kane, who was the first African American fish and wildlife agent.
Wow!
And she played the daughter that ran a art gallery, and her father was importing and exporting exotic birds out of South America, but he was also exporting cocaine. Wow. It was based on a true story. And I was the electric grip. That was my first job in the industry, and I worked for the director of photography. That's when I learned how things work being on the set. We had day shoots, night shoots, alligators. Oh man!
For all of y'all don't know, grippers make good money too.
Oh, yeah, that was like
I
nice
have to
piece
talk
of
to y'all
change.
because my middle son, he likes acting. He did some theater in high school. He tried it in college, but when I said, that's why I was asking about the acting schools. He couldn't get the college aspect of it with the other classes, but he wants to do acting, and he loves doing makeup and all that type of thing.
All of my students, I'm proud to say, out of 20 plus students, I would say 16 of my students are currently in different films. They are parts of Siren Media. Siren Media is the casting agency for BET, TV One, ID Channel, Copycat Killers, and all that around here.
Yeah, because he needs to find his way, and he can't seem to think of anything else that he wants to do. I mean, he likes anime stuff and things of that nature. So I'm like, okay, you need something in that field that we have to find it for you. So,
well, you know, I must admit, I've been truly, truly blessed to have the type of network that thinks the way I think. And what I mean by that is the mantra of my company is where talent, I just had a mental blank, where mindset and talent create unlimited possibilities, right? And I do believe that your success is always in direct relationship to how many people you're willing to help or serve in some substantive, positive way. And that way, you're doing what we was created to do.
Right.
And that makes a difference. So I not only teach acting from the standpoint of understanding Stanislavski, Meisner, and method and these things, but I teach the business.
Right.
Because in order for you to have a real insight as to what it is you're trying to do in this business, you got to understand the business.
Right.
It's not called show art, it's called show business.
Right.
So if you understand the business, then you can effectively map your way to success. And success, by definition, to me, is being actively engaged in the process that you want to be engaged in a passionate, enthusiastic way.
You know,
the money
That's
comes
awesome.
later.
Right.
Right, and you know when Coach Tanya wasn't able to make it, she had matter of fact, now I think about it, you had a funeral you had to go to that day. We did the live show on stage.
Yeah.
And Chris, you talked about wanting to engage up and coming artists to help them understand the business aspect of it. Elaborate on that for us.
Yeah, I started a company called AC Entertainment, and it's mainly developed to cultivate artists, give them information, give them, I guess you would say, a jump start on what it is they're getting ready to get into, but also expose them to other entities within the music culture, because what happens is a lot of kids see the glam and glitter of being a star, and they don't realize that the guy that's back there pushing them buttons back there is probably making triple what the person in the booth is making, along with the person who's actually being the executive producer of whatever you're putting out there, your product. So just want to give them the insight that it's cool to want to be a star. Everybody wants to be famous, you know. Most people want to be famous and people know their names, but it's also cool not to be a star, make a lot of money, and it's so wide open. A friend of mine, you know, Henry Gaskins, went to Gonzaga. He's the executive vice president at is it Epic now? No. It's the record company will come to Def Jam. He's at Def Jam.
Okay.
He's the executive vice president of marketing and direction at Def Jam. And he used to work for Pro Serve. As a matter of fact, he's the one who worked out Labs' first professional contract. Wow. So, and he's from DC. So, but he's now the executive vice president up at Def Jam. And the things that those guys will tell you about how to bring our artists in and the other opportunities that are available to people that want to come work in the industry. He says that people walk in the office and try to get a deal. They see the other jobs and go, well, what does that person do? And what does that person make? And change their whole perspective.
Same thing in this.
And make them want to do something different. So I think they don't know those jobs exist. I mean, who knows that there's somebody at Def Jam that's specifically set up to just do scoring? That's your job. That's all you do is you score all of these short films and everything we send your way. They send to us. You do that. Or you go work for DJ Khaled. You're working in his studio. And you're doing nothing but just setting up all of his microphones. A lot of different things you can do within the music. I want to get them exposed to that instead of being pigeonholed in one direction. Hopefully, exposing them to that makes their minds go further into the business aspect of it and ownership.
Right, and that's good because kids and young people don't see that. All they see is the person that's out there in the front.
Right.
So for you to do that, it gives them that background, and like you say, to be able to expand their horizons, which is what they need.
Yeah, I don't want them to go through what I went through. I always had to tell a story that I'm on platinum records, but I don't have platinum money.
Right.
You know, and as a young...
Give us an idea of some of those records that you
Shake Your Thing, Ola Ola I did a little cowbell on Slave to the Rhythm of Grace Jones. I didn't get a credit for it because I just took me to the studio early in the morning and said, hey, I need you to drop a bell right here. I wasn't really paying attention to it. They gave me $500. That was great for me. I was 16. But I'm not complaining because the money was great for a kid my age. I was making like $3,000 a week, and that's in 1985, 86.
Wow.
You can't complain about that. The only thing is we didn't have any idea about the residual income. We didn't know anything about performance rights or, registering with ASCAP because I just wrote a part on a record or anything. I didn't know anything about that. So it took my experience to go through falling on my face to be able to know what I know. Of course, trial and error is your best teacher. But I want kids to not have to go through some of that nonsense, and if you specifically know what you want to do, get you there quicker so you're not wasting your time, Get you there faster. That's the main objective.
And that might be a great conference, Coach Tanya, that we can collaborate on maybe for next year. We actually have a show, arts and business conference. So these kinds of things that we're talking about, we can talk about in real time to people, and do some exercises, not just talk about it, but actually do some exercise. Okay, these are These are mock contracts.
Right.
All right, read through it. Tell me what you see. Right now, we're going to go and we're going to teach you some things. Now you go back to that contract, and then we do a pre-post test. Things like that. That from the academic standpoint, where we're not just talking, that they're actually executing some of those things. It's not just the kids, but also the parents too, because a lot of times the management and governance come from parents.
Right.
Which now takes me to this point. You nor I came from a background of a family of artists. I had no idea that this was going to happen.
Yeah.
And neither did you, for me.
Yeah.
You were playing your drums in the basement. Slim, I wasn't in front of a camera doing nothing other than running that rock, which you'll tell them about before we leave. All right, so
I got a couple of stories.
I want to hear those.
Yeah,
I do want to hear those.
You missed it live.
I'm gonna save the juicy one for last. That's the best one. I mean, it's the
Okay,
best one.
make sure we have time for
I'm
that.
just gonna call that one before I preempt it and call it falling a little short.
See, you don't never say that to a big black man falling a little short. That has all kinds of connotations, honey.
Right.
So he's not. Never mind.
I didn't go there. You did.
I'm gonna go there at least one time during the show. So on that basis, now you didn't come from our families. Our families were rooted in artistry to an extent.
I don't know how
much?
I think from listening to old music, I used to be in love with 78s. My brother liked 45s, but I like the 78 records, the way they sounded, and the 78 music was older, right? All the records on 78s was like
1940 and 50,
early. Way back there, and you get that crick little sound. I like that little crackling little sound.
Crackling in it.
And I fell in love with the tempos, and I fell in love with the melodies, and I just started banging on stuff, man. If you talk to my mother, I broke up a lot of stuff in her kitchen, because I wanted to play the drums.
Now, I saw you break stuff in the kitchen. So they need to talk to your mother. I was dead.
It was the only way for me to have an instrument, to have money to buy an instrument. Like, I would take paint buckets, and I would empty, after paint halfway out, I'd dump the rest of the paint out, and to get the different tones, I'd put different water in
levels
there.
in there.
Use that to play congos or making my tom-toms, and eventually my mother and my older brother Gerald, he got me my first drum set, and me and my brother and I actually were competing all the time. But
y'all both played.
And my mom broke down and bought us our first professional pearl drum set from right out here at Briggs Music Store in Landover Mall. You remember Landover Mall? And we cherished that thing, and we took care of it. But that was the start of something big.
And you know what's funny for me, being a native Washingtonian, is that I was around, Charles Stevenson?
Yes, I do.
And me and Charles Stevenson, them go way back, right? And
Mr.
I remember
Stevenson,
when he used to
Doctor.
manage EU, right?
Yeah.
And they used to rehearse up on the hill, up on Talbot Terrace, right? And so I've been knowing Bear and all of them. I done watched them change drummers and all that in the early days of EU.
Right.
Before they hooked up with Spike Lee for the joint.
Gotcha.
And it was like, at the time, see, I was a singer. But I didn't fall into the go-go thing. I wish I had in a way, but anyway, and because we used to do the talent show up at Our Lady of Perpetual Health up on the hill.
Yeah.
And me and my cousin, and we came in first one time, we came in second a couple times. But the funny thing about family, my mother was always, why don't y'all shut up that noise down there? Woo, 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 But when we go perform somewhere, the people loved it. But you kind of want your family to appreciate something you're doing.
Exactly.
And it made me kind of, and I'm a singer now, but I didn't come back to singing from being a kid until I was 38, 39 years old and started going to karaoke. And since then, I done opened up for Brian McKnight for President Obama's first inauguration.
Wow.
I done sang at different events and stuff. That's the other side of the entertainment thing. Because the way I look at it, I went from singing to acting to producing, and then from producing to directing.
Wow.
But all of this, I'm an old dude.
The thing about it, you also have a military career.
Oh yeah, I'm a Vietnam era veteran. Yeah.
So when you think about it and talk about the evolution of folks around, you have another career.
Yeah, I'm an 8-year vet too.
Yeah.
Right. And then you have a career in technology.
Yeah.
Yep, I was a major accounts executive for technology firm.
I was an operations specialist.
So the beauty of it is, especially with art, is that you sometimes can fit it in the pocket of what you're already doing,
Yes.
and then kind of take it from there.
Structure is important.
And we can get into that in a second. But as we get ready to wrap up, guys, I'm really sorry, man, that we started so late.
Yeah, man, you're going to have to straighten this now.
Yeah, man, I want an extra check.
So then that means next week they'll be back.
See, if I can get...
Not before I tell my story.
No,
you gonna tell your story. Trust and believe that story gonna get told.
Coach Tom, you handle them coming back next week. I'm out of it because they already chin checked me. So they can negotiate with you.
I come in when I want to come in.
I feel that way too.
Y'all gonna start calling me
If
Papa.
you want to come in next week, come in next week.
I'll pop up.
So you're socially conscious. And I mean, I'm just using that as a catch-all term. But the bottom line right now is we're having some exposure right now to race and cultural relations and protesting, etc. Give me some of your, now I've read some of your Facebook posts, so give me some of your insight on these matters right now.
Oh man, it's
you go first.
It's heavy. It's heavy, but I did some really, really deep thinking about the situation. So I'm gonna go back into some other things, but I wanted to go straight to a point real quick. As much as we want to talk about Donald Trump and everything going on, the one thing I have to give him credit for is he bought that root that was buried deep in the ground that everybody thought we were imagining when we walk in the room. We talk about the man and we talk about what's on our back or black man feeling a burden, but I really can't explain what that burden is, but now you can see it. So as much as I hate everything now, not hate, but don't like what is going on, you know, it's important he came out because guess what? All those people that was hiding in the woods, hiding underneath the trees, hiding underneath they are out. They're exposed. And what I'm really enlightened by actually was watching all of the white people that came out to show people, hey, we are all not like that. And for me, it's actually kind of inspiring. As much as I despise some of the things that he's doing, because as a veteran, people ask me, do you get upset when people burn the flag or people say bad things about the military? Absolutely not, because we protected their rights and their freedoms to do that. That's why we went out there and we put our life on the line so you could do that. That's your right. I have a problem with somebody who can send my comrades to death and not understand the impact or what it entails. You know, on one of my Facebook posts, you'll see that I put, in war, real people die in real war. And, you know, it's easy to say we're going to commit 2,000-3,000 more troop over there, but it's not your son.
Right.
And it's not a big deal until it hits your back door, your front porch, and somebody's bringing a flag to your mom or your dad or your spouse. And that's why I tell people all the time, if they call me today and say, Chris, we really need you to come back and get on a boat and do what you need to do back in the day because we're short, I'd jump on the boat quick because I love my country that much. However, I would do it with some protest because of this president.
You know, and keep that in mind. I'm going to switch it to you real quick, and I'm going to say it this way. Many African-American servicemen, I've heard from them, you know, I love my country that much, but you know what? My country never loved me nearly as much as I love it.
Yeah.
And just passing on to you from Vietnam era vet to what you're watching in the streets right now, what are some of your thoughts?
Well, my primary thought, to be totally honest with you, is that I just feel like it's a darn shame that things haven't changed from the things I experienced in 1972.
Wow.
I was one of the, I'm a Vietnam era veteran. 1972 I went in. I was in Korea all of 74. I came back to D.C. and was stationed at Walter Reed. During the period of time I was at Walter Reed, I was one of the 2 people sent from Walter Reed down to Fort Chaffee, Arkansas, to help process the coming of the Vietnamese refugees to this country. I was at Fort Chaffee, Arkansas. The town outside of Fort Chaffee, Arkansas is a place called Burlington. In Burlington, it reminded me at that time, being 20 years old, of something you would see in a movie where one half of the town had black folks on it, the other half of the town had white folks on it, right? And when we used to go out to the helipad to pick up the Vietnamese refugees, we had racist white folks doing stuff like doing Molotov cocktails at the cracker boxes. When we went to town, we had the sheriff of the town and the deputies coming into places, particularly where, like, we was shooting pool one time, and they came in there and the Bama say, "We hate y'all, you niggers bringing these chinks in the country, all kind of stuff like that.
Wow.
But the sad part for me was, and this was the first time as a grown man when I was in the military that I shedded tears because I felt like who to turn to. I was in a situation, I'm a capsulizer, where the sheriff did some crazy stuff downtown. We went back to the post, to the people we was attached to, and reported to the first sergeant and the commander. And when we reported what they was doing, as I turned around and walked out of the office after I saluted, I heard him say to the first sergeant, should have shot that nigger.
Oh.
Now, as a young boy who was real patriotic, because I was willing to go to Vietnam, right? It was like a shot in the heart, you know, because I felt like, oh man, I'm
betrayed.
These are not my people.
Right.
You know, not from what I experienced through basic, through AIT, and the camaraderie that you get with people of all persuasions, because y'all go through that training together. And when I was stationed in Korea and some of the crazy stuff that happened, then we was all together in it. Yeah. But to be the experience that when I come back to the States, that hit me hard then. Fortunate enough, because of my family makeup and the people associated with my family, I didn't take that to heart to believe that all white people was like that. Because I knew white people that treated me like their family, and they was like my family. So I didn't take it to heart, but it raised my consciousness. Because the first time I was ever called a nigger for real was there.
Right. Wow. So look, Coach Tanya's going to work with you next week, and even if we got to Skype you in, you know, if you're someplace else and we need to put you in front of a laptop and Skype you in. But I really, really need to make this. I mean, if we start at 6:30, you know, these pearls, we just need more time.
Yes,
and because of a number of things, from the solar eclipse to the fact that the restaurant opened 2 hours late, so I lost the shows this morning and we lost traction. Okay. And then when I came,
looking forward to coming back.
Yeah, then when I came in,
definitely. And I thank you both for your service.
So we're gonna put on a little trouble funk in the background.
How about
tell me that story. Tell me that story right quick.
Yeah, I can say it over the
music.
Okay,
say it over the music.
I might rap it.
Facebook still can hear it, even if the live feed can't hear it.
All right, go ahead.
All right, here we go. What year is it? 83?
81, baby.
81 is 1981. McNamara High School. The crowd is going wild. Steve Smith against Roland Grimes for the Metro Conference Championship for the Washington, D.C. area Metro Conference D.C. Catholic schools. All right, here we go. And Roland Grimes is first and 10 on the 5-yard line. Roland Grimes set back in the backfield. There's the snap. Gives Roland Grimes. Up, down the left side. Oh, 40, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. He's down on the 5. He's down on the 5, but nobody was around him.
He tripped over his own feet.
Remember I told you sometimes you come up a little bit short.
He came up short.
Them 2 Charlie horses that he caught in the back of his legs. This boy ran 95 yards and caught 2 Charlie horses.
He couldn't crawl across
the goal line. He could not get that ball past 5-yard line. I thought his mother was going to cuss.
No, he didn't.
It was a game-winning touchdown.
She said, let me tell you something. That was one of the most funny things ever. Now, what? I didn't laugh. No. The Charlie horses are coming out of his legs sooner or later. He's going to be really pissed.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to just leave him alone. I'll talk about it years from now, like right now. I'm smart.
Thank you all for tuning in to the Roland Grimes Show, Beauty and the Beast edition. Tune in next week, same time, same place, Monday night. Bye. You cramped up.
Oh yeah, man.